So, three hackers just went ahead and proved something that we already knew, that Discord's age verification and age verification in general is full of crap. They are just trying to collect your biometric information and data to just go ahead and track everything that you do. And if people aren't upset about this news story, if this news story doesn't blow up, then I have just lost all faith in humanity. So, basically, Discord was using a freaking third party vendor. I guess they're saying temporarily using it, but now you'll see everything that Discord says is a lie, called Persona. So what Persona was doing is they were managing the biometric data that they were getting through the ID age checks and the age verification for Discord and other services. However, all they did was take our biometric information that people were submitting through their freaking facial scans and IDs. I'm so annoyed right now. And they just left it there in some sort of US government system thing that people were able to find. And oh my God, it is so bad. So basically what was happening when you were submitting your ID and age verification stuff, your facial scan stuff on Discord or other services managed by Persona, this is what was happening. You were getting placed on a freaking watch list where the government was literally watching you. They were looking at IP addresses, names, phone numbers, email addresses, geolocations, browser and device fingerprints, faces, countries, even the backgrounds of the selfies that people were submitting. You were placed on a watch list for mass surveillance. And the only reason that this has been confirmed, I mean, people with a brain already knew this type of stuff was happening, but the only reason that this has been confirmed with full proof is that there was these three hackers that actually did this, shout out to them, that actually exposed that this was all being done for mass surveillance. So here's this freaking little system note that you would see for Persona. This is a US government system operated by or on behalf of the General Services Administration. This system is made available to authorized users for official government business only. All activities on the system are subject to monitoring and recording. Persona was being managed by the freaking government systems, and they were working together to collect your information and harvest that shit and basically just make sure that these companies, the government, Big Brother, whatever, is just going to monitor everything that you do. Persona and OpenAI were involved in this, the people who made ChatGPT, and they were sending their user data to the US government. They were using code names for this creepy ass project called Project Shadow and Project Legion, and the analysis of source code revealed OpenAI's user verification systems included biometric tracking, facial scanning, political screening, and intelligence reporting. And then for Persona's government server, it matched ICE's, ICE, $4.2 million AI surveillance tool, which scrapes social media and the dark web, building digital footprints on anybody submitting age verification information to those services, tracking emotional sentiment, and assigning risk scores to people across 300 platforms and 28 billion plus data points, and flags individuals for, quote, violent tendencies. Holy crap, man. Like I said at the beginning, if people are not upset about this, and if this news story doesn't end up becoming a huge deal, I have just lost all faith in humanity. So these are some of Persona's customers. They are using Persona as we speak, or they did previously, to harvest your data and information. If you've submitted any type of age verification to anything listed over here, unfortunately, they are looking at you on some sort of list, and they're probably tracking everything that you do. When people like myself and all these other YouTubers are making videos about age verification, people are like, oh, you guys are just fear mongering, or you're overreacting, or whatever. All that data gets deleted anyways. Well, look now. Anyone with a brain already knew that this was all bullshit anyways, and this was never about the kids. This was all about mass surveillance, but now we have the proof. They were pairing facial recognition with financial reporting on everybody who was participating in any type of age verification, and Persona was using all of this information and just sending it to the government. They were putting you on lists based on what you were doing, what you were asking ChatGPT, what you were doing on Discord. I mean, it is just crazy, man. A lot of people already know by now, but Persona is, backed by Peter Thiel, and they offer know your customer and anti-money laundering solutions that leverage biometric identity checks to estimate a user's age, that use a proprietary liveliness check meant to distinguish between real people and AI-generated identities. And this was all obviously a huge push from the UK's Online Safety Act and the Kids Online Safety Act that's getting pushed in the United States as well. They were always saying, oh, it's for the kids, it's for the kids. No, it wasn't for the kids. They were just trying to watch everything that you do on every single social media. They were looking at the backgrounds of your selfies to try to find out as much information about you as possible. Persona's exposed code compares your selfie to watch list photos using facial recognition, screens you against 14 categories of adverse media from mentions of this word that I probably can't say, otherwise YouTube will demonetize me, to espionage, and tags reports with code names from active intelligence programs consisting of public-private partnerships to combat online child exploitative material and all this other stuff. Once you identify with Persona, if you use any type of age verification that is managed by Persona, like on Discord, for example, the software performs 269 distinct verification checks and scours the internet and government sources for potential matches, such as by matching your face to politically exposed persons and generating risk and similarity scores for each individual. IP addresses, browser fingerprints, all that type of stuff that we talked about before, they are analyzed and retained for up to 3 years. What was Discord saying? Oh, don't worry, right when you submit your IDs and all that type of stuff, we're going to go ahead and just delete it. You don't have to worry about us keeping it. Yeah, lying pricks. They were storing that shit for up to 3 years. There's no way that Discord didn't know that Persona was doing this, and they still chose to partner with them, even though they have such a dodgy history. Discord still chose to do this global age verification thing when it's not even a globally mandated law yet. These companies and corporations and these governments are just so corrupt. It is just insane that this type of stuff just happens before our very eyes. I remember there's a news story that broke a few days ago talking about the fact that the Department of Homeland Security sent legal requests to Google, Reddit, Meta, and Discord seeking the names, email addresses, phone numbers, and other identifying information of users who track and criticize ICE. But keep in mind, this happened before those hackers went and hacked all that stuff and found out all that information. I made a tweet that, a lot of people were tweeting as well, saying admittedly this might be a reach, but this might have some correlation with Discord globally mandating ID age verification. Well, it looks like that actually was the case. Discord, Persona, ICE, and all these freaking organizations are working together to collect all of our information like a bunch of vultures, a bunch of freaking weirdos, seeing everything that we do. Oh my God, every click, every post that we make, every single conversation that people would have with ChatGPT. I mean, it is just insane, man. They will use their bullshit AI systems to determine a selfie age inconsistency comparison. Are you doing the same pose as your other pictures and stuff? And they can flag you as a suspicious entity based on your face alone. And keep in mind, this is through AI age verification, as we've already determined so many times on this channel, does not work. It is absolutely terrible. The estimations are so wrong and off. And with AML reporting, suspicious analysis can quickly lead to the unjust terminations of bank accounts. I mean, this is the type of stuff that they were doing with your facial scans. And in addition to facial recognition, Persona software is able to perform checks on financial data, including running checks on sanctions lists, running checks on cryptocurrency activity via the blockchain analysis firms and stuff like that. So basically, if you freaking submit a selfie to Discord and Persona took a look at it, this is the type of information that they would find out about you. They would know if you have cryptocurrency and what you're doing with it and stuff. It is just so weird. And keep in mind, as we mentioned in every single video, this is all after Discord already had the 70,000 ID photo leak, and many other people, including myself, speculate it was way more than 70,000. I'm sure it was in the millions of IDs ended up getting leaked. And that all that exposed code that Persona had and all these other freaking weirdo companies had, it just sat at a US government authorized endpoint that appears to have been isolated from its regular work environment. It is unusual for such a program to sit on dedicated infrastructure and not on Cloudflare or Persona's shared systems. You do this when the data requires compartmentalization, when the compliance requirements for the data you're collecting demand that level of isolation, when the damage of a breach is bad enough to warrant dedicated infrastructure. This was said by researchers. So in layman's terms, OpenAI, Discord, Persona, ICE, these weirdo freaking companies and government agencies, they were tracking everything that you're doing if you go ahead and submit age verification on Discord, maybe even Roblox, maybe even all these other games and social medias and everything like that. And this all matches, 5cast Onyx, which is an AI-powered, quote, open source surveillance program purchased by ICE in 2023. And they also offer automated collection of multimedia data from social media and the dark web, all that type of stuff that we were talking about, the 300 plus platforms, 28 plus billion data points. And this is just like the creepiest, weirdest shit of all time. All this age verification stuff where they were saying, oh, it's for the kids, bullshit. Now we all see that it's bullshit. Like I said, people with brains already knew that by demanding age verification through IDs and facial scans, that had nothing to do with the kids. They just wanted to collect our biometric data. However, now you actually have proof. The proof is in front of your very eyes. All the people that were defending Discord and Roblox, now you guys look like fools. Anybody with a brain already knew that this was shady, but now we already all know what is going on here. Those hackers, shout out to the three of them. I don't know their names, but shout out to them. Good job actually protecting everybody's information and preventing us from going ahead and submitting age verification to Discord, because they would have collected and harvested our information like freaking vultures and watch every single thing that we would do. I'm pretty passionate about this topic. I mean, it is just so annoying that these companies are really trying to pull the fucking wool over our eyes. Like, oh, look, it's for the kids, for the kids. By the way, we're going to watch literally everything that you do. We're going to give you a risk score, and we're going to make sure that, if you're even doing anything outside of, Discord and stuff, we're going to be watching that too. So yeah, Discord straight up lied to all of your faces. All these companies are just lying to all your faces. You just can't trust any of these companies. You can't even trust the government, and you pretty much never could. I mean, this all stuff is just so freaking shady. This news story, I really hope it blows up big, and I hope a lot of people are talking about this type of shit. I just cannot believe how big of fucking vultures these guys are and how they're trying to actually just take advantage of regular users, just trying to chat with their friends on Discord. But yeah, let me know what you guys' thoughts on the situation in the comments. You can't fucking trust Discord or the government or Persona or any of these scumbags. Please leave a like in the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more. See ya.